Good morning, good morning, good morning. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you are breathing. Today is Monday, August the 5th, 2024, and I would like to welcome you all to This is Just a Thought with Stephen Cornegay. Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. The beginning of the work week is here. The beginning of the work week is here. Hi-oh, back to work we go. It was kind of rough getting up for me this morning. Don't want to do it, didn't want to do it, but as always, there are bills to be paid and mouths to be fed. So get up and get to it. Just get up and get to it. No way around it, no way around it. Hope everyone, like I said, enjoyed this weekend. The weekend here in North Carolina was pretty good. I got to say. Had a little bit of heat. But for the most part, it was pretty manageable and reasonable. Just was. We got some rain, but hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. All right, let's move along here. Hey, today's word of the day, nebulous, which means indistinct or vague. Nebulous. Like I said, or like I always say, hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon so you can get notified when I drop these podcasts. Keep you in the loop. A lot of interesting topics we will be discussing. I would hate for you guys to miss out. So hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon and get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the topics I'm talking about. Whether yay or nay is not going to hurt me, not going to affect me. That's what we're supposed to do. We are not supposed to agree with everything someone says. It's just not how this thing we call life is supposed to operate. But then again, we as humanoids, we're always changing. We're always changing and evolving. Some may say re-evolving, but hey, it is what it is. Like I always say, it is what it is. So yeah, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hey, let me know what you guys think. Hey, no comment is wrong or right, in my opinion. Just like when we were in school, we were always told there's no right or wrong answer or any question left out there. You're never going to know the answer. So, hey, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. All right, moving right along here, man. I kind of touched on it earlier about the weather this past weekend. I want to say it was Friday. Man, no, I think it was Saturday. Late in the afternoon or evening, we got some heavy downpours. Cooled things off because the temps had shot up Friday to the real feel of 112, and Saturday they were up for a while to almost 108, but that rain came in and everything changed. Changed for the best, if you ask me. Temperatures cooled down to the upper 80s, still had some real feels, but it was still more manageable and more relaxing than what had went on during the week. So that 108 to 112 real feels really took us out. There was some flooding event, flash flooding. But yeah, that storm, man, it came through. I gotta be honest with you. I had worked a little bit that Saturday. And when those storms came through, I was sitting there looking at TV, watching the Olympics. And before I knew it, I had nodded. Something about those summer rain showers and thunderstorms, it just soothes you and relaxes you so much. So no matter how much you try to fight it, it'll take you on out of here. But temps today are up in the upper 90s with a slight chance of showers again this evening. But there's going to be a real feel of 98, or I should say the upper 80s. I'm sorry. Temperatures are in the upper 80s expected to be today with a real feel of 98. So we're still going to have a little bit of heat. But what's brewing that could quite possibly change that and make temperatures more mild and manageable and comfortable here in North Carolina and really up and down this southeast 95 corridor? Hurricane Debbie. It made landfall over the weekend, or this morning, or sometime yesterday late evening, made landfall on that west coast of Florida, around Tampa, up in that area. And now it's a tropical storm, and we are expected, like I said, sometime this week, later on this week, to receive some rain, if not heavy rain and heavy winds. but it's expected, which is really, it's an indication of these hurricanes. You never know what they're going to do. It's really supposed to stall out along over, like I said, down that bottom half of that 95 corridor around Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. It's going to stall out, and they're saying they're going to get the just rain, rain, rain. Quite possibly, flat out, they're saying could be some flooding before it makes its way up to North Carolina, and we're just expected to get the rain and a little bit of wind. I hope that's all we get. I hope that's all we get, because if you know anything about those storms, especially here as of late over the years, it renders everyone in these areas helpless. And more importantly, it renders Duke Energy helpless because they can't seem to get it right. I'm not going to go on a Duke Energy rant. And you may be saying to yourself, well, they have a lot going on with these storms. They, hey, these storms, it does knock out power. I'm not going to get into it with you guys. You're not going to catch any argument from me. Hey, storms come and go. Things do happen. But Duke Energy, oh boy, Duke Energy, you are just horrible. You just are. At least in this part of North Carolina. For the past week or two, there hasn't really been any storms, any heavy winds or rain. Power just went out. And Duke Energy's response is, hey, we're doing some upgrades, and some of our equipment is old and outdated, and we just have to take the power down for a while till we can correct the problem. Probably wouldn't get any flack from me, but my question is very reminiscent of what I've been asking multiple times. I've done multiple podcasts on Duke Energy and their troubles. In the past years, when you guys were getting these price hikes, what were you doing with the money? How is it that now all of a sudden, when it's been in the news heavily, and this is going on throughout the United States, saying they need to upgrade the electrical grid. A lot of the equipment is old and outdated, and they need to put up some type of security in case there's a grid attack. What were you guys doing with the money all those years before? You guys just didn't start getting price hikes this year within the past 2 or 3 years. Seems like every single year for years, decades, you guys got price hikes. Once and twice a year even. Now, one time you were getting price hikes, you were saying, hey, we're understaffed, we're unemployed, we need to hire some more poll workers or line workers. You got that multiple times. Now you're coming back and say, hey, we got to get price hikes to make these necessary upgrades to the power grid. Hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But a hustle's a hustle to me. Any day of the week, I don't care who it's coming from. Guys, I can't really tell what you did with that money. You guys aren't telling what you did with that money. Are you saying those price hikes you guys just weren't enough? It was only enough to get you to the bottom of the hill, and now you need to get over. How convenient. So I'll keep you, like I always say about these, the utility companies, and that includes electricity, gas, and water, they are a monopoly. They are a monopoly indeed. Anytime you got shareholders involved, it's a monopoly. It's not there for the greater good of you and I. Its only purpose, flat out, is to make money, profit. And it shows. Guys can't even keep the damn lights on during a regular day when nothing's going on. Now you're saying you're up making the necessary upgrades. That's why you have to take the power down for a few hours. Before that, you were saying that, hey, we got to take the power down because we're in need of linemen. We need to make electrical upgrades. Yada yada yada, rah rah rah, shish boom bah. Think you guys were just fooling around. Like I always say, Duke Energy needs some competition here in North Carolina. They just do. Maybe they'll do better. I mean, oftentimes when there's only one around, they can set the tone. They can set the price. They can pretty much do what they want to. And they pretty much are. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we're expecting to get a little rain keep those temperatures mild. And one thing that came out, they said, moving along, they were saying that, hey, these 100 degrees or real field days of 100 plus, they may be gone. They don't want to say permanently gone. They're just saying they're gone at least for this week and maybe some of next week. And they might return. This is August. This is the South. So as always, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Like I said, the temps are expected to be in the upper 80s a day, but we're still going to get a real feel of 98. So hydrate, hydrate. Put that sunscreen on. Keep a hat on that dome piece. Limit your time outside. Recognize the signs of heat exhaustion or heat stroke by all means. And as always, check on the elderly. You know how they do. You know how they do. All right, moving along here. Also, man, hey, of course, you got the Olympics going on. U.S. is up in the gold count, but this weekend there were quite a few folks inducted into the Football Hall of Fame in Camden, Ohio. Hey, notably, my Chicago Bears, they got them 3 put in there this weekend, baby. They got them 3 put in there this weekend, and they were indeed some hellacious football players for the Bears. They just were. Well, the Chicago Bears played Thursday night, against the Houston Texans, and they won 21-17. They looked fairly decent, I gotta say. Didn't look too well. They were second and third string players, but they still look pretty good. The game wasn't played in its entirety because of severe thunderstorms and lightning, so they canceled the game. They called the game, but the Bears were up 21-17, so they went on and said the Bears won. Hey, it is what it is. Like I said, anytime I get to see the Bears, I do kind of chuckle because you never know which way that game is going to go. But they did look pretty good. They hung in there. They fought. At least those second and third string players just did. The inductees were the return specialist, Devin Hester. Yep, he needed to be in there. Julius Peppers. Julius Pepper came in. He originally started with the Carolina Panthers. When he got up in age or whatever, the Panthers released him, and he came on over to the Chicago Bears. I don't know if you would really call him a Chicago Bear. He played a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken, but he still did make an impact on that squad. So he's inducted into the National Football Hall of Fame, along with Chicago Bears great from that 85 team, Steve Mongo McMichaels. All these players were inducted into the Hall of Fame. McMichaels, if you don't know or you haven't been following him, he is, of course, he's in hospice. He's not doing too well, but he's been in there a while. But he was present via video to receive his gold jacket. Much well needed and much deserved. And of course, a lot of the old players from that 1985 squad showed up at his house to show their support. Steve Mongo McMichaels. That 85 squad of the Chicago Bears, hey, I know many of you are going to say, and it's true. It's true. Bears really haven't done too much of anything after that. They did do something back in early 2000 when they had, you had Devin Hester. You had Urlacher. You had so many other greats on that early 2000 teams with, of course, Coach Lovie Smith. But really, they really haven't won another Super Bowl since 85. The 85-86 squad. Hey, they're still my team. I don't care. They're still my team. I will be a Chicago Bears fan until I'm taken up off this earth. They are just that squad, in my opinion. Of course, many are saying this year they're looking pretty good. They got top quarterback, college quarterback, number 1 pick, Caleb Williams, and they got a host of that receiving core is looking good. We'll see what happens. We will see how this goes. None of those guys played in that Hall of Fame game, of course. Hey, it's not even really preseason, but they didn't play. None of those starters or premier players played. It was mainly the second and third string players. They look good, and of course, hey, like I said, they're looking good on paper with all these improvements they made during the off season. But we'll see. This happens every year. This happens every year with my beloved Chicago Bears. We'll just have to wait and see how they do. We just will. We just will. Maybe they'll have a good season. I'm not predicting them to go to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But it would be nice. It would be nice. All right, let's move along here, folks. Man, hey, well, the presidential circus continues to intensify, with former President Donald Trump refusing to debate on the 10th of September, which is this debate is supposed to be sponsored by ABC News. You know, this debate was supposed to be him and President Joe Biden. But as we all know, President Joe Biden has passed the torch on to Kamala Harris. President Trump has said, hey, I'm not going to debate her on the 10th. That was supposed to be me and President Trump. This is a flim flam. They switched up on me. I'm not going to do it. But however, Fox News Network, they came out and said, hey, we're going to have a debate where you guys can show you and Democratic presidential hopeful Kamala Harris can come to the Fox. We're sponsoring a debate on the 4th of September. President Trump said, hey, fine, I'll be at that one. But Kamala Harris has said, hey, and her camp has said, hey, no. You don't set the tone over here. There was a scheduled debate that was etched in stone on September the 10th that was sponsored by ABC News. That's where I will be. If you know President Trump, he didn't have too fair of a exchange with ABC News after that last week, that National Association of Black Journalists convention, where he kind of got into a sparring match with an ABC News anchor, and he flat out called ABC News fake news. Ooh, that's President Trump. That's former President Donald Trump. Just is. You guys should have known that. Now, the Harris camp has came out and said, hey, that's fine. If he doesn't want to show up on the 10th, we'll be there. And, hey, we might just have us a little town hall meeting instead. Since she's already said she's not going to the September the 4th debate, the one that President Trump's going to that's sponsored by Fox, maybe he'll have a town hall meeting also. It's a circus, folks. It just is. It was expected. I can't say this surprises me. I know it doesn't surprise you. If you followed former President Trump, or you've been keeping your close eye, you know this is what he does. He disrupts. He disrupts. He said he's not going to that damn debate. His debate was supposed to be between President Joe Biden and Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe has bowed out gracefully. It's a circus. It is a circus. It is. It is. I'm sorry, folks. It just is. In my humble opinion, it's a circus. Then again, what do I know? What do I know? All right. Let's go get it. I'm going to make this one kind of quick here today. Last Thursday, there was a hostage release. 3 Americans were finally released from Russian detainment. And long awaited and long overdue. Of course, this was a hostage exchange where the U.S. had to give them something for them releasing 3 American citizens. I believe Russia got, they got another known assassin, another hitman, very reminiscent of that Brittany Griner hostage exchange. So it looks like Russia has another hitman out there on the streets. Wow. Now, these 3, we all know them. They've been talked about for, man, God knows how long. The 3 that were released last Thursday. And, of course, you know, they were met by President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, Democratic presidential hopeful, who's all but sewn up the nomination. There's just formalities, like I've been saying. And of course, you know, they're saying this goes to show the importance of democracy and diplomacy and working with other countries, because there were some other countries that were involved in this hostage exchange. Now, Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, he's a former U.S. and former U.S. Marine, Paul Whelan, and Russian American journalist Alsu. I'm not going to butcher her name. If you know, you know. I'm sure you know by now. It happened last Thursday. All three of these prisoners were released, and they came back home to the United States. Now, Jerskovich, who's 32, was arrested in March of 2023 while on a reporting assignment, and he was sentenced to 16 years in prison for espionage. Now, this all happened last month. He got the sentence. The sentence came down last month in Russian court. Wow. He's been in there since March of 2023, and he got his sentence 16 years in prison for espionage. It's just a reporter. Of course, we all remember, and him and Dershkovich, those were the two the U.S. had been fighting for so long. Paul Whelan, former U.S. Marine, he spent nearly 6 years in prison in Russia following his December of 2018 arrest in Moscow while he was there for a friend's wedding. He received a 16-year prison sentence back in 2020 for espionage also. Now, the U.S. State Department, they designated both Whelan and Dershkovich as being wrongfully detained. And the third, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to butcher this person's name, but Alsu, that's the first name. She was handed a 6.5-year prison sentence last month during a closed-door hearing in Russia, pretty much for what Dershkovich was sentenced for, also espionage. You remember I told you guys about that came about, that she received her charges and her sentence in the same day, closed doors, behind closed doors, no media was allowed. All that was given was a statement. Now, Alsu, I'll just say that she's a Prague-based journalist for the U.S. She's backed by Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty. Of course, if you heard about those are those that's that news organization that battles Putin on a day-to-day basis to make sure it gets out what he is doing. And he's not a fan of Radio Free Europe. He's made that known. Propaganda is what he's called. Say they lie. He's not that bad of a person or a leader. She was detained during a trip to visit her mother in Russia. So she's Russian. The crazy thing is with her and Whelan is they weren't there doing anything real. Well, she was, of course, she was reporting on what was going on, but she's been known to report what was going on. But at that particular time, she's saying, and her representatives are saying, just like Whelan was there for a friend's wedding. She was there just visiting her mother. She's from Russia. And they were detained, both charged with espionage. Like I said earlier, there were a number of other prisoners on the Russian side that were released also. This was an integral part. This was a part of that prisoner exchange. And looks like they got another hitman back on the streets. Wow. But one thing that has came up, and I hinted at it, if you know, months ago or whatever, when I talked about the release of Brittany Griner, one thing that has came up that is really not talked about, but I think it's finally getting some attention, that really needs to be talked about, because a lot of time we really just don't stop and think about what these hostages goes through in these foreign lands. And just like with Brittany Griner, if you saw that interview, what they're saying with these three here, they're going to have a long mental and physical, but more mental recovery. That's no surprise. We can't begin to imagine what these three have gone through while being detained in Russia by Russian authorities. There's no way in the world. And if you watch that Brittany Griner story, she probably just gave a glance over, and that glance over just made you stop and realize what they go through. So it looks like they're going to have a long road. They're going to get all the help that they need. Um, Being detained in any country by any government and you're not a citizen, you got to know what you're up against. You got to know, hey, it's not going to be an easy road. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be done and said to you. There's a lot of treatment that you're not going to be accustomed to. That it's going to be not seen, but going to be just outright degrading and humiliating. And that's just when you're detained in a foreign land. That's just it. You can expect that. You should expect it when you go. You never know how things are going to turn out when you travel to foreign land. And that's any of us, any U.S. citizen. Because just like I've said before, and I'll say this again, no matter how much you think or want to believe in the good of the world around you, the kumbaya, the we are the world, United States citizens aren't liked anywhere outside of the United States by foreign powers and citizens. They just own it. That's not me just running my mouth, folks. That's an actual factual fact. The United States is not like. They don't care that you're there as a reporter or there as an athlete. They could care less. All they know is you are an American citizen. And just like I said before with Brittany Griner, and I said it with Paul Whelan, because there was a lot of back and forth between folks here in the United States. How could you give them back this killer, known killer, and all we got was Brittany Griner back when we had Paul Whelan sitting over there for however many years? Hey, it's Putin's game. I'm sure the U.S., like I said, the guy was locked up for 6 years. I'm sure the U.S. tried any and everything they could. But it's Putin's game. He's holding all the chips. He makes a decision who he wants to let go. And he did. So if I could say anything to anyone that's traveling abroad, be mindful of where you're going. Yeah, I know you're leaving the country. It's a great time. It's an exciting time. You're getting ready to see a different world. But at the same time, you got to be mindful. You got to be up on your game. You got to know that you are marked because you are a U.S. citizen. And that's whether you're black or white. Just is. We can all sit here and want to believe and think that, hey, everything is going to be fine, that we're welcome and loved everywhere in this world, but that just ain't so. It just ain't. And what they're saying is these three, along with Brittany Griner, they're going to have to be under intense counseling, the likes of which we probably will never know. Probably don't want to know. I know I don't want to know. I just can't imagine going somewhere and you being detained, trumped up on some trumped up charges that you can't beat. Your U.S. constitutional rights don't apply when you're in a foreign land. Just don't. They got their own constitution. They have their own set of rules and laws that they're following, and they're saying you violated it. So, of course, they're going to say, hey, just like I said, the ball is in Putin's court. He can dictate who he wants to release and who he wants to keep. But it looks like he now has another one of his top-notch assassins. The guy's an assassin. He's a killer. Something else that came up, I could see it. I can understand the argument. But just like I said, be mindful of when you travel to these foreign lands. A lot of these foreign lands that we travel to, we already know what's at stake. Russia? That's just like trying to go to Iran, in my opinion. Or going to China. Or going to North Korea. These are countries that we know are known foes. They make no bones about it. They don't mix no words about their disdain for the United States. But folks still travel. So a lot of folks are saying, hey, man, why do these people keep going to these foreign lands and they already know these countries don't care for us? And why, more importantly, are we spending our time and taxpayers' money trying to get them back? Well, they're American citizens that have just been caught up. Is it, get in that comment section, is it feasible to say that when these people, because brutally as brutal as it sounds, that we when you hear that, you know, a lot of some American citizens are saying that, hey, when these American citizens decide to take their, you know what, overseas to these foreign lands that we know they don't like us, the onus is on them. It's their problem. It's not ours. Stop wasting our time and taxpayers' dollars trying to get these folks back. Are they cruel and heartless when they make that statement? Or are they just flat out unaware and lack the compassion and understanding that they need to show for their fellow U.S. citizens? So are they right when they say, hey, when they go over there, the onus is on them, that's their problem, U.S. stay out of it? Or should the U.S. get involved and do any and everything that is possible to bring them back? Like these last two instances with Brittany Griner, and now these three giving Russia back their killers, assassins, hitmen. Very interesting. Very interesting point of view. Cruel and heartless as it sounds, are they right to criticize and say that? So get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But it certainly is a blessing to have these three back. I know many folks have been praying for them. So it's good to see them back. And I hope they get, without hesitation, without haste, the mental help they need, because they're going to need it. They just are. There shouldn't be any expense spared to get them that mental help so they can get back to their families and have some semblance, if they ever can, of living a normal life. The triggers, hey, I don't ever want to know. I don't know about you, but I don't ever want to know. I just don't. Well, I'm going to go on and get out of here. I'm going to go on and skedaddle. I got things to do today. I got things to do. Get in that comment section. Like I said, let me know what you guys think about these topics I talked about today. Whether it be whether it be the weather and the rain that has came through or is going to come through this southern part of the United States, because they're saying it's coming with Debbie. Of course, you know, Debbie did do a little damage, or quite a bit of damage, down in Florida around that. I forgot what they call that part of Florida, on that western part of the coast, up in that little section where it borders Alabama, and some of it, you know, Alabama and Georgia. That, I guess, I don't know if they call it a horn or whatever. Did do a little damage, but, you know, so luckily it really wasn't that too severe. Just got a lot of rain and heavy winds. But let me know what you guys think about that storm and the after effects that it's just going to stall out over Georgia, Alabama, and South Carolina. Just drop rain. We'll see what happens. And of course, what do you think about that Hall of Fame induction of those Bear players? Chicago Bears, baby. We got 3 of them in there. We got 3 of them in there. And also, get in that comment section. Let me know, is this Chicago's year? Will they once again return to glory? Or will it be a flop like it is every year? They always look good on paper. They always look good on paper. They just do. Let me know also what you guys think about this presidential circus that is going on, this debate controversy of sorts. Hey, President Trump flat out said, hey, I ain't doing no September 10th presidential debate. I'll do the September 4th that is sponsored by Fox, but I ain't going to the one September 10th that is sponsored by ABC News and their fake news. My opponent was supposed to be President Joe Biden, or Sleepy Joe, but he bowed out. This is a flip-flop. This is a sham. Is he right? Or is he ducking and dodging? Or is he being a coward? Haven't, can't, I don't think I've ever had to say or even alluded to the fact that President Trump may be a coward. Is he running from Kamala Harris, or is this a political ploy? Get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about that. Very interesting. And also get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this prisoner exchange, this prisoner release that went down last Thursday. Was it worth it that we did get 3 of our own, but was it worth it that now a Russian hitman is out and about in the world that we are living in? 2, to be exact. He was released last Thursday, and another one was released earlier this year during that Brittany Griner exchange. And also, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Is the onus on those American citizens when they decide to travel abroad to these countries that they know are not friends? They are flat out foes of the United States. And then all the power and resources and diplomatic immunity and diplomacy has to be used to get them back, calling on some allies. Is it worth it, or is the onus on those that decided to travel abroad? Should it be their problem and their problem only, and not the problem of the United States State Department and American citizens? Can't wait to hear that response. Because like I said, when that was presented, I was like, wow. Maybe, maybe not. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? But yeah, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think, whether yay or nay. Let me know what you guys think about these topics today, were they good or bad? Hey, and as always, I want to thank you all for lending me your ears this morning. Continue to like, support, share, comment on these topics. And hey, thank you for listening to This Is Just a Thought with Stephen Cornegay. Amen.